I'm going to give a shout out to Tom Lee from Fundstrat. He picked up on a study that Stan Salvikson, who was the chief strategist of Merrill Lynch in the 80s, when I was just coming of age in this market, Stan had a hypothesis that the baby boomers would make for 15 to 20 years of a bull market in equities. And that's what happened. It was a very simple assumption, and it played out beautifully. Tom Lee, I don't even think he referenced that study, but has taken the notion that millennials are the reason we're in a bull market for equities, and that this leg of the bull market won't end until 2026. And I think he thinks that the bull market, with some fits and starts after that, could actually extend to 2038, I believe it is, which is the year that the number of millennials peak. So this is the echo of the baby boom. I lived through the baby boom years and that equity market move. It was magnificent. It was a very simple assumption, and it worked. And I do feel we are in the same place now. We're all going to have different points of view based on our own research. So I like the fact that, markets are being made around this controversy. We want the controversy to be out there. What I found for years is innovation was avoided, and whether it was research or investing, there was less and less of it as our markets moved into more benchmark sensitive territories after the tech and telecom bust and then the 08-09 meltdown. So much so that analysts and portfolio managers felt they were taking a huge risk investing in a stock that was not in an index. Well, guess what? A lot of innovation, which is all about the future, is not captured by indices. In fact, very little of it, we believe, is captured by the indices. And so I felt starting a business on that premise to focus exclusively on disruptive innovation would become productive. And it has, because we have never been in a period ever in history where we've had 5 major innovation platforms involving 14 different technologies, all moving into S-curves, the S-curves feeding one another. We're in a period of explosive innovation. And so, I think that as more and more investors and analysts do the research that we're doing, and we give our research away, we're happy for anyone, but we feel one of our missions and values is to educate, because we feel like there's been a dearth of education in the financial markets around innovation because of this backwards looking, benchmark sensitive style that evolved out of 2 crashes. So many people ask me, are we in a bubble? We couldn't be further from it. I do not believe that investors, the average investor, shall I say, understands how provocative these next 5 to 15 years are going to be as these S-curves feed one another and enter exponential growth trajectories that we have never seen before. John Paulson he made an incredible call during the mortgage crisis. He has been a gold bug, I would say, for most of his career. And many investors who have spent their careers focused on gold cannot understand the digital concept associated with gold. What we think he's missing is this is much more than just a store of value or digital gold. Bitcoin in particular is a new global monetary system. It's a rules-based monetary policy, which is completely decentralized and therefore is not subject to the whims of policymakers. In fact, it's a hedge against the whims of policymakers, especially in emerging markets. And as far as other crypto currencies, Ether being the biggest, we're seeing the DeFi movement, decentralized finance. Again, Chairman Gensler is going to take a close look at it, which I think will be good. Let's just get the regulators on board, because at the end of the day, what we think decentralized finance is doing is taking the friction out of a lot of financial services and taking a lot of the middlemen out of financial services. So that is also a good thing. other than that, there's some, I don't know how closely John Paulson and some of the other naysayers have looked at it, but I know there have been conversions. Ray Dalio has been a conversion, Stanley Druckenmiller, and these are very thoughtful investors who at one point thought Bitcoin was a Ponzi scheme, and in some cases, and have been converted. And I think one of the reasons they have been converted is when you think about what blockchain technology is doing, it is putting into place via the internet the payments ecosystem that was not put in place in the early days of the internet because it was never conceived with commerce in mind. It was for defense departments and intelligence. It was for academics. It was for information exchange, not commerce. When you fill in the picture with blockchain technology, all you're doing is saying, yes, there's a more efficient way of doing commerce. We just didn't know commerce was going to be a part of the internet in the 80s and early 90s. I think KYC, AML, so know your customer, anti-money laundering is good for the ecosystem. I do believe that is true. I think what's confusing from a regulatory point of view is the different definitions of crypto depending on the regulator. So the SEC, in terms of Bitcoin, has described it as not a security. The IRS says it's property. The CFTC says it's more like a commodity. And I think if regulators get together and agree on what exactly these cryptocurrencies are, how to define them, that will be a good thing. Just certainty will be a good thing for this ecosystem.
Do you want to know one thing about crypto? I made over 3,000% in profit in a few weeks. Fact is, the traditional financial system, the traditional money system makes you poor, not rich. If you want to earn $500,000, $1 million, you have to wait until you're 50, 60, 70 in the traditional financial system, and you probably will still be broke. And you will be old. This is not a sexy combination, as you can imagine. But the question is, how can you start in crypto and make these profits? Where to invest? Where do you start? My name is Gunnar and I'm from Germany, as you can hear, and things are a little bit different in Germany. More about that later on. Fact is, there are lots of different cryptocurrencies. It's a gigantic universe where beginners and professionals get easily lost. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. There are 7 key steps you need to follow to become successful in this market. You have to know them, and if you fail one of them, it's literally impossible to succeed in this market. Just an example, one of the key points is your exchange, and one of the biggest are, for example, Binance and Coinbase. These are trusted and well-established exchanges, but, and this is a big but, you won't find the super profitable coins on those exchanges. The unknown super profitable coins that get gigantic profits are not traded on those kind of exchanges. They are traded on much smaller insider platforms that are barely known. And I can tell you what those super secret exchanges are and why they are so profitable. And another super important thing are the right information sources. The point is, the internet is gigantic. There are hundreds and hundreds of YouTube channels, blogs, pages, and much more. And there are also market makers and influencers. For example, Elon Musk, he is not a crypto guy, but the moment he recommended Dogecoin, it went through the roof, to the moon, so to say. But why did he recommend it? Where did he hear it from? He didn't hear it from newspapers. And believe me, he is listening to someone. But you have to know who, and you have to react before he is reacting. This is really important. And these are only 2 of the 7 steps you have to follow in order to be successful in crypto. And if you want to know all of these steps in much more detail, and if you want to have a comprehensive checklist, here's what you should do. There is a link below this video. Click on this link and you will get the opportunity to subscribe to my channel. Click on the link and you will see a video where I explain the next steps. So see you soon. Click on the link now. I'll see you there.